Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Am I the Asshole? If you're a fan of hearing Reddit stories, it would really support the channel if you could like or subscribe. Without further ado, let's get started with our first story. Am I the asshole for telling my brother he betrayed mom, so why would he get half of everything? My mom died a few months ago, and she left my brother 40s some money, but I 40s female got most of what she owned. Some background to explain why mom did this and why my brother is angry. My mom was an only child for 16 years, and she always wanted to get involved in her dad's business. But he didn't want a girl woman taking over the family business. He was determined to have a son one way or another. And even though mom was prepared to leave school and work for him, by the time her brother came along, he made it very clear that even if there was no son, he would never let her work for him and take over one day. He would rather see the business close. This destroyed my mom. She loved her parents and felt so rejected. Mom's dad didn't get his way, however, because her brother wanted nothing to do with the business and refused to even work for him, let alone take over. My mom was estranged from her dad for many years because her dad made it painfully clear to her that he didn't value a daughter and never would. So mom stepped back, but when he heard mom had a son, he reached out, and when that didn't work, he waited until my brother was 18, and he offered him a job and the chance to run the family business. My mom was shocked, and my brother told her she better not tell him not to accept, because he didn't like the fact she kept us from our grandfather and prevented him running the business with the estrangement. Mom and him had a talk. She said she did not want him to grow up with the same disregard for women as her dad. He basically told her to go and F herself, and he went to work for her dad. Years passed, and he regretted the strain between him and mom, and dad was disgusted with him too. He reached out after dad died and apologized and told mom he loved her. But things were never the same, and he talked about her dad like he was some amazing hero of a guy, which was so difficult for my mom. So apparently when mom had her will made, she decided that I should get the most, and my brother should get something, but not an equal share, given he had the business, and seemed perfectly okay with her being shut out of it for being born the wrong sex. My brother is hurt and angry about this now that she's gone. He asked me how she could have done this and why I'm not angry. I told him he betrayed mom, so why would he get half? He tried to say he didn't, but I told him he went to work for her dad anyway, and then basically told her to go for herself. And even when they reconciled, he acted like the father who treated her like shit, was some amazing person who needed his praises, sang all the time. He said I was shitting on him for no real reason. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Has not entitled to more than your mom decided to leave him. And considering the state of the relationship and how he insisted on praising a man who mistreated her, it's pure generosity on her part that she left him anything. Or maybe because certain areas have laws that you can't sue for more of the estate if you were left a certain portion. R.I.P. to your mom. I hope your brother can one day realize how much his actions hurt her. I'd wish only daughters for him, but that would be mean to the potential daughters. I hope he's sterile. Not the asshole. Ask him where your half of the so-called family business is. All feelings and emotional considerations aside, it's arguably fair and logical for your mother to be more generous toward you in the inheritance from her, to make up for the lack of fairness and inequity in bro getting the family business and you getting nothing. Not the asshole. You told him the truth. He didn't like the truth. Doesn't make it any less the truth. Is he planning on giving you half the business your grandfather gave him? Doubtful. That's why she left it to you. Because she got nothing from your grandfather and your brother got everything. I'd also point out to him that your grandfather also left you nothing. Does he have children? Hope he doesn't have daughters. Can only imagine how he treats them as well as his wife. Not the asshole. He got what she should have gotten, the business. He seems greedy and clueless. Would I be the asshole if I changed my unborn son's name after finding out my sister is using the same name for my nephew? My husband and I, both 20s, chose a name for our son early in my pregnancy. We didn't tell anyone the name, but my sister, 30 female, snuck into the nursery to peek at what we'd done and saw the name on the wall. She's also pregnant and said she wanted inspo for her baby nursery, and then decided the cousins being born so close together should share the same first name. And she told me it would be so cool to continue the tradition of multiple family members with the same name. My sister never shared a name with a cousin. She had a family name where she was the only living person with it in the family. I did share a name with 3 cousins and an uncle, and I hated it. I chose to use my middle name mostly because it was unique in terms of the family, not unique in general, just FYI. But nobody else in my family had my middle name, so I used that more than my first name, though some family members refused to call me anything else. My husband was disappointed. Like I was to learn, my sister had decided to use the name, and we started talking about changing the name. We decided to scrap the one we had originally chosen, and we covered over it in the nursery. My sister and mom saw the finished nursery a couple of days ago, and my sister asked about the name, and she told me she was hurt we were changing it. She said she had been so excited for the cousins to share a name. I told her I wanted my son to not share a name with anyone in the family. My mom said she thought it was amazing to have a few people with the same name in a family, that it was a special connection between them. I told them I disagreed. They said I was overreacting and would be mean to change my son's name after my sister was so excited for our boys to have the same first name. My husband said my family have an issue with boundaries and accepting a difference of opinion, and I'm coming to realize that, it even shows with some of them refusing to accept my name, and the fact my sister snooped on the nursery in the first place, and then chose the name without asking if I'd be okay with it. Would I be the asshole, though? I keep getting texts from my sister saying I should not change the name. Not the asshole. Your husband is exactly right. Your family is deranged with their level of boundary stomping. It is really not cool for your sister to have made this choice, essentially forcing this conformity on you that you do not want. The saving grace is that she is pregnant now, and not in a year from now, when it would be more complex for you to change your child's name to prevent this. To me, this would be enough to make me want to go low contact with my family. I just would not feel comfortable sharing anything with them. It's interesting that as you were the one who experienced the upbringing of sharing a name with several other people, your perspective is being dismissed by those who like the idea of it but didn't directly experience it. To me, that says a lot about your family's respect for your perspective and boundaries. At this point, consider keeping your new child's name a secret until the very last possible moment. I think OP should pick a fake new name. Then pretend to keep it a secret, but do a bad job of it. Wait until sister gives birth and her child is named the new fake name. Then revert back to the name OP originally chose. Not the asshole. Your husband is right. Your family is manipulative and clearly lacks healthy boundaries. Stick to the new name that you are choosing for your child and keep it a secret from your sis and mom until after your nephew is born. Not the asshole. The logic is so weird. Sure, multiple people in the family can share the same name, but generally when someone says Mikey, don't put that in your mouth. Everyone knows they're talking to one-yo Mikey and not 16-yo Mikey. Having 2 almost the exact same age with the same name just seems confusing. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.